think you weren't gonna call.
I was beginning to think you weren't going to answer.
Me, sleeping, in your dreams, Miller.
If I ever had any good ones. She was in my dream this time.
Who?
Your mother.
Oh. I didn't know you knew what she looked like.
I don't think I do. I just knew it was her. That way you do in dreams sometimes.
What happened to her? Did she die?
No, well, it's still a little fuzzy, but I was in the rehab center back in Nuala, and I was walking back to the room I stayed in when she ran at me from the hallway. She was rambling on about how I needed to get out of there and that they were going to kill us, and then they all came at us. Trish, Dr. Mass, Dr. Fredericks, they all came at us and tied us up, and I woke up as they lit the match.
You told me you weren't worried about being sacrificed.
I'd be lying if I said I had slept through the night after my last checkup.
I'm sorry I wasn't there.
It wasn't that big of a deal. I took care of it.
You shouldn't have had to.
You told me not to trust anyone.
Maybe I was wrong.
What was your nightmare about?
It was kind of long and boring. We never picked you up from rehab, and by the time we found you, you were dead.
Not entirely boring. A good twist at the end, I would say.
Haha, yeah, I guess that's true.
I thought you weren't worried about me being sacrificed.
I never said that.
See you tomorrow?
Yeah. Try to get some more sleep.
Right back at you.
Thursday, October 18th, Episode 4, A Fateful Meeting.
What is that fossil?
It's a recorder.
Your recording obsession is getting out of hand.
I wholeheartedly agree.
You two are terrible.
So, what do you think we're gonna find at this church? Do you think a whole bunch of white cloaked cultists are just gonna, walk in the front door?
So they were wearing white cloaks. Good to know.
You didn't?
No, remember, you ran off without me to save Charlotte.
Which I succeeded in.
And then neither of you talked to me about it after the police came. I didn't talk to you again until Monday, and every time I ask Charlotte about it, she tells me she's fine and goes on her merry lying way.
I am fine.
See what I mean?
Okay, you want the extended director's cut or the made-for-theaters version?
We have time.
Fair point. So, by the time I got to Charlotte, the whole thing was set up. They were all in white, pointy-hooded robes, and they were tying Michelle to a pyre.
Like an honest-to-God wooden pyre? In the middle of the woods?
Yep.
Fuck.
My exact words.
Char, you got there earlier. Did you see them set it up?
No, I wasn't that much ahead of Parker. They had everything all set up. They were all robed and they were just waiting for Michelle.
How did Michelle arrive?
Against her will?
Obviously.
Maybe.
Excuse me? You think she chose to get sacrificed against her will?
No, but there has to be a reason all the victims left their houses in the middle of the night. And we know thanks to Margo and I's trauma, it wasn't from home invasion. They at least got somewhere on their own.
Maybe the church.
Do you have a thing against God? Is this why you're so keen on the church being the big bad here?
No, but there's only so much in this town. There has to be something. What about when Parker finally got there? Did you two wait in the bushes?
When I saw Michelle, I tried to go after her. Parker jumped on me before I could get out into the open and kept me on the ground, right on the edge of the brush.
Really? Parker did that?
Oh, because you're a pillar of height yourself.
I'm just saying, Charlotte is taller than you.
I have more determination.
It's about willpower.
What about when the police finally got there?
One of them must have gotten tipped off. They fled before the police got there.
They just left Michelle in the pyre.
The police didn't think the pyre was a little weird?
Teens have bonfires in those woods all the time.
With people on them?
You know drunk kids.
Could you stop for 2 seconds?
I'm sorry?
No one thinks your little jokes and underhanded comments are funny.
Here we go.
So you're still mad at me.
You still don't care for Michelle.
Why can't you get your head around the fact that Michelle wasn't my first priority that night?
I thought you wanted to catch the killer.
Your death wouldn't have done that.
Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't have been able to save her?
Did you process anything that was happening around you? Like at all?
Did you process the dying person in front of you?
I'm not having this argument with you again.
Fine. I don't want to hear your sorry excuses anymore either. Goodbye.
Wow, I really have never seen her this mad at anyone before. Nice job.
I'm honored.
No, I'm not joking. This isn't like her. Actually letting grudges be felt. I know you probably feel like shit if you're capable of feeling that, but I'm kind of relieved. She's finally not pretending to like everyone.
I'm glad you feel okay, Holland.
You think she'll cool down?
I'll go check on her.
You sure that's a good idea?
When has that ever stopped me?
Good point.
Knock, knock.
Why do you keep coming?
My sincerest apologies. I didn't realize caring for a person could be such a hassle for them.
Just let me take care of myself.
I said you weren't ready to help on the case.
You just love being right, don't you? You like having people who are doing worse than you so you don't feel like such a goddamn mistake.
Wow, you're going for the deep hits today. That's not very on brand for you.
You don't know me.
No, but Margo does. She seems to think this anger is good for you, so I'm just gonna let you get it all out.
Once again, showing off your selfless chivalry.
I thought we fixed everything between us.
We did.
So why are you yelling at me again?
Because I told Margo I was okay, but I wasn't.
You don't have to be okay for her.
She's keeping it together.
She didn't see a woman get burned alive.
You're keeping it together.
You know that's not entirely true.
You can still talk about it. I can't even get through hearing about it.
We've gone over this. I had different goals that night. I don't like what I saw either, but ultimately it was better than what I thought I would see. I'm sure it's the same for Margo. She doesn't like the idea of people being burned alive, but you got out, so it's not as bad as it could have been.
Oh, so that makes it okay?
No, it makes it stomachable. It's okay that it's not that way for you.
How are we supposed to solve this case if I can't even talk about it?
Maybe you sit this part out.
You wouldn't. Neither would Margo. She missed her mom's funeral for this case.
You don't have to push yourself just because she did.
She was there because I wanted her to be. I have to be here.
Your logic is flawed, Miller.
Whose isn't?
There's gotta be someone. Come on. I'm sure Margo's bored out of her mind watching a church on a Thursday.
PJ, we really need to... you aren't PJ.
No, I'm not.
Why are you in her car?
She was here, then she chased after Charlotte. She's been doing that a lot lately.
Oh, well, I guess I'll leave you to yourself.
I'm not a huge fan of being left alone in cars. There's a seat open, a couple actually, if you want to slide in.
PJ won't like it,
Parker's not here.
if you insist.
So, what brings you to the church?
My mom is planning some charity event. I was meeting her here.
Oh, moms, they're something, aren't they?
You okay?
How do you feel about your mom?
That's a pretty personal question.
Yeah, sorry, never mind. I'm just going through some stuff.
Right. She loves me, and I think parental love is a weird type of love.
What do you mean by that?
My dad, well, I never see him. Uncle Scott was pretty much my father figure growing up, but I still love him.
Did he and your mom split?
Sort of. He lives in the city, easier for his job, but he doesn't not love my mom anymore, so they didn't get in a divorce. He visits for about one holiday a year and my birthday.
But you love him?
He's my dad. He's provided for me my whole life. Paid for our house and my car and bought me my first lacrosse stick. I can't say anything bad about him. I didn't line up with what he wanted from life. I can't get mad at him for that.
For being selfish?
I think we all need to be selfish sometimes. If we aren't, we never live for ourselves, you know?
Yeah, I do. So, you love your dad. What about your mom?
I don't know. I used to say without a doubt, but she's changed.
How so?
I guess she hasn't changed. I just learned more about her. The wool was lifted a little bit, and I'm not sure I like what I'm seeing now.
I feel that.
Really?
Yeah. What do you say we have another conversation about our lives? Or something less serious? Maybe not in a car another time? Perhaps Friday at Tony's?
Did you just transition from family drama to asking me out on a date?
Not smooth?
Surprisingly the opposite.
Is that a yes?
I don't know. I'm not exactly... If PJ knew, I wouldn't want to complicate.
I'll worry about York. Do what you want. Where's that selfishness we were talking about?
I'll pick you up at 5.
Sorry I'm late.
You're fine. Busy day at work?
Yeah, you could say that. My daughter's also helping me with the case now. Just didn't realize how much she got up to.
I'm guessing you mean Parker? You're really working with her.
She doesn't want to give up the case, a trait she unfortunately got from me, but she wants to do it with me so that way I can at least keep an eye on her.
You think it'll work?
No, not in the slightest. But, I mean, hey, it's worth a shot. How's Margo?
She's been good. That grief counseling makes no sense to me.
Yeah, well, I am the last person you should ask therapy questions to.
Maybe, though I wouldn't call myself an expert either. I guess I'm just old-fashioned. Is there really a right way to grieve?
Don't know. But I do know that there are wrong ways.
The case?
Maybe. But, I don't know. Could be good.
Well, Margo thinks it's bad. That's the whole reason she's going to counsel. Though she won't trust a word her therapist says.
Can't say I blame her.
But you gotta start trusting someone, Scott. Otherwise, what do? Bought it all up?
She talking to you about it?
A little bit.
No, I mean, sounds like she trusts you at least. That has to be good enough for now.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
For once, maybe. I don't know about you, but I am starving. Want to get some fries?
Thank you for listening to The Holland Case, with Caitlin Branco as Parker York, Michaela Thompson as Charlotte Miller, Cameron Soup as Margo Holland, Davin Metcalf as Brady Hughes, Owen Kelly as Sheriff York, and Ben Hirota as Luke Holland. The intro is composed by Ian Michael Brown, and the transitions and outro music are composed by Hudson Dopp. The series is written and edited by Caitlin Branco, with cover art by Charlie McAfee and episode titles by Ben Hirota. Thanks again for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode.